What's up, everybody? This is Eric.
This is Josh.
We are Firesky.
Yeah, we
We're
just figured we'd come in and answer some questions for you guys today.
so we're doing a little short video, and we'll go through some things to kind of introduce ourselves, so you know a little bit about us and what inspires us and what helps us create our musical ideas.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll just dive right in from there. Let's get started. So, how did you come up with the name for your group? Well, Josh is better at telling this story, so you want to take this one, Josh?
Yeah, we're gonna do that. So last year, me and Eric decided to go to Dream State, and I mean we'd been making music together for years before that, but something about the energy of that show when we got there, we were just kind of envisioning us playing at that event together and just how it would look, the lasers and the event, the stage, and just kind of hyped us up. And we eventually kind of came across the saying that it would seem like the sky was on fire with lasers. And when we put that together, we just kind of it clicked. It was just one of those random inspiration moments that it was like that would be a good group name, Firesky, and we just went with it.
Yeah. And so here we are. That's it. All right. So moving on to the next question. Who is your inspiration? I think separately we listen to different music, but together we're influenced by like a set type of thing. So for me personally, I really got started into wanting to make music listening to Infected Mushroom. Their uniqueness and their sound, it was just like, God, I want to know how to do that and be weird. And so that's what I dove into. The other person I was really just struck by was Dead Mouse and his chords and his progressions, everything, and how smooth it was and how musically charged it was for being electronic music. I was just like, this is exactly what I want to do with my music. Josh, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, similar veins of Traffic there. We both were into Dead Mouse, but ones that really caught my eye was Laid Back Luke back about 2009, 2010. Just the way he like loop mixed and Q mixed and just would fly through tracks and kind of remix on the fly. It was just something to behold. And when I saw that, I was like, this is what I want to do. More on the newer side of things for probably the past couple of years. Been listening to somebody called Eddie. He's on Mousetrap Records, so obviously he's got kind of a Dead Mouse tone, but he just does a lot of really cool things with his progressive house and the way he's able to build things together and kind of takes you on a ride in 4 or 5 minutes and leaves you with a picture at the end. You're just like, oh, it's wild.
Yeah. And then as Firesky, we dive into a lot of different varieties of tones, I guess. Like we like break beats and we like psytrance, and we're in this like mood of moving in and out of those two, and also diving into some really like funky, like sick electro, because that's our roots as well.
Yep.
So it's
drum and bass. Can't forget the DMB. That's in there too.
The DMB, like it's just that's been in our system since we started rave, like since we started in the scene. Like we definitely have some good drum and bass that is coming out. Like we're working on it. We're gonna make some cool stuff there too. So keep your eyes out for that. But as far as inspiration for us as a group, I would say we are heavily influenced by names like Asterix and DJ Fix and Keith McKenzie. Asterix for the side trance and super strange effects that he does on instruments and like flow as far as that goes, and then DJ Fix and Keith McKenzie for their like Dutch influence and the break beats that they do, and they're real aggressive sounding, just like driving things like that.
Yeah, I mean that's where Wolfgang Gartner kind of slides in there too.
Yeah,
his just editing techniques and the way that he kind of uses chords is definitely one of a kind. Nobody really can do it like that, man. And so trying to take note from him is always a good way to push us a little farther forward.
Yeah, for sure. And then another big one I'd have to say is Vinny Vici. Just huge sounding synths and fuck ever just it's big. It sounds can't get enough of it. So that's huge influence. Another breaks artist, I would say. What do you think? Like
Stand
Stand
Warriors.
Warriors. Yeah, for sure, bro. For sure. Every time they
Yeah,
drop a new
hero.
track, it's like you feel like you're back in 2010, but it's new and it's just got that fresh and
They're able to keep that Miami vibe alive.
yeah. So definitely when we're like into breaks and stuff like that, we're definitely kind of in that range of things, trying to be like, all right, let's see if we can like get this funky tone from the old school going. All right, moving on.
Say the next one. Let's see. What do we got for the next question? How did you get started and when did you start working together?
Oh, well, freedom was good.
Yeah, that was
And a
the
lot of
first
things
attempt at
don't
stuff.
just turn out the way you think they will when you start, I guess. But
Right. Should we take him through the details?
I don't. Sure, that's
All right. Well, we'll give you the short version.
go for
We
it.
planned
No,
a mountain party,
you
and
tell them the details. I'm just a little frustrated by my details. That's all.
it's fine. No, it's all good. You had things that kept you from getting back up there. So we were gonna plan a mountain party called Freedom. And this was right around the time that me and Eric were starting to get confident enough in our DJing skills to want to play out. And so we got a lineup of people that we knew that were semi-active in the scene at the time and our friends that were playing. And we got it all put together, and I went up to the mountains up in Monte Cristo to hold down the spot.
I drove him up to the mountains. No, this party was a cool idea. This was great, and we promoted it well. Like we had a lot of
It really could have
here,
been amazing.
and there was a lot of talk leading up to the event. So we were pretty excited for the outcome. I was thrilled. I couldn't wait. So I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what, dude? Take you up there. You guys will get set up. I'm gonna come down, and I'll make sure to get the speakers and the generator back up to us tonight or tomorrow night. We got this.
He said tomorrow afternoon. So I figured it'd be a day on the mountain. You know, it was cool because it was kind of raining. We didn't have much to eat, some hot dogs and some Pepsi, and that was about it. So we made it through the first night okay. And we ate all the food, and it's like noon comes around, and we're like, where's Eric at? And then some more time goes by, and then 4 or 5 passes, and we're like, okay. And it starts raining again. We broke our shovel that we had up there. The sun goes down at this point. We start wondering if Eric
Hey,
is
no,
still
listen.
okay.
During this time, listen, it wasn't so
Yeah, I don't
easy
know what's
off the
happening for
mountain.
you to
It
explain.
wasn't easy off the mountain either. I'm sitting downstairs trying to organize where's this generator that actually was not the same thing that I thought it was, and we had to go somewhere else, and somebody's like, I guess you can borrow this one. So this is already not going well on my end. I'm like, well, hope it works. We'll see you later. Like, load it up. Let's go. So I got the generator up, got the speakers, found a guy with a car big enough to fit these speakers, and he's like, yeah, sure, I'll help you load these up and take them up there, but I may come back later. Sick. So let's load the speakers up and we'll go. And so I'll drive, and then we start driving. This road is a long road, and it took a lot longer than I thought to get there. You know, just the way it went. So continue.
And it's fine. As the sun went down, started hearing some critters out in the woods. We all retreated to our tent. Eric, finally, we see some light through the tent come cresting over the mountain. And they pull up.
Like a hero.
Yeah, exactly. He saved us from the mountain sheep. It's fine. That's what was out there. It wasn't a mountain cougar.
It could have been biting goats. It could have been biting goats.
For sure. But it wasn't. So, okay, here. Now we've got everything set for the show. It's about ready to go down. We all pass out.
Stoked.
Yeah, the storms that were there that weekend were supposed to clear up for Saturday. It looked like that's what was going to happen. Nope. Snow. About 4 a.m. I start like feeling the person in the tent getting really close to me, so I kind of push them. Then I notice that the tent is also getting close to me because it is soaking wet and cold. So I look outside and it has snowed a whole bunch. So the show's off. And now basically I'm like, not it. Go wake them up. So,
And just so you guys know, I am not a morning person. Like, generally, whatever's going on around me in the morning, I'm oblivious to for at least 30, 40 minutes because I'm just like in and out and just like waving it off. So I keep feeling weight on my face, and I realize, like, yeah, it snowed, but I'm just punching it off the tent. Like, no, get off. And then I just go back to sleep in the freezing cold, knowing that it snowed outside, also knowing I'm not dealing with it. So going back to sleep, I just knew that's not my problem yet. I still got to get up some more energy. And then it got way too cold to just not deal with it. So we are now crawling out of the tent and just trying to stay warm and let down and just really hoping. Oh, yeah, without service to call out of the mountain. So we can't tell people not to come up. And we don't know if everybody's heard the news. So we're just hoping people aren't driving through the canyon in a snowstorm to a show that's not happening no longer to find us leaving.
no, they got it. It snowed pretty good. I think they got the message. Didn't
Yeah,
let
nobody
up
did
and
show
got
up.
worse overnight.
I think that was one of those text messages that was like, no, dude,
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm not driving. Yeah, no.
So needless to say, that was our first experience working together. But we learned a lot, like, of things that can happen that you need to be prepared for events. You
That
know.
was a good learning
And
experience.
yeah,
We
I would not
certainly,
take it back for anything. It was
no,
awesome.
no, that was great. That was a wonderful story. We eventually got off the mountain and we were determined to keep going. We definitely wanted to throw a party still.
And we
And
just played a house
that's
party.
another
It was,
story. That's fine. We'll
yeah,
get there one day. Yeah, we'll get there. Moving on. Moving on. All
agreed.
right. So, what was the first concert you ever went to, Josh?
Well, that would have been Styx and REO Speedwagon. I think I was like 8 or 9, maybe. And it was, I remember my dad was super hyped because it was all the like original members of Styx had finally gotten back together. And it was just wild. I remember Eddie Money opened the show, and that is not someone you want to see shirtless. We'll just say that. For all the people that attended that concert, I'll apologize for him.
Oh, dude. That's, yeah, I appreciate
It's
it.
good. Yeah.
All right. Yeah,
How
so
you-
that's that sounds dope. Um, my first concert was probably not as enjoyable for me, but I went with a girl that I thought was cute, so I was into it for her. So that was sick. I went to see Faith Hill and Tim McGraw. So I mean, it was a good show, high money country show in Utah. So like, dude,
They're big artists.
it was big. Like it was a beautiful performance, beautiful show, beautiful girl. Can't go wrong. Yeah, it was nice. It was awesome. Later in my years, like I find myself listening to that music much less, than my
It
parents.
happens.
It happens. Things change. We grow as people. Things, it's
Growth. Yes, that's the word.
But yeah, overall, that was my first concert. Still, country music reminds me of my parents, so I'm thankful for that experience because I was there with them, and that was super cool.
Right.
Um,
In the same vein of things, I suppose we could go over the favorite concerts. That's the next question. What's your favorite concert you've ever been to, Eric?
I would have to say that was Decadence of either 2016 or I think it was 16. Decadence in Colorado. And it was my first time seeing Armin van Buuren. And I had always been a fan. Like, I was just like, he's like legendary in that realm. He's been around forever. And it was just like, cool. Yeah, that's a winning headliner. And it was also an experience to see all these new trap and bass artists that I hadn't been able to see in person yet because that was what was going on then. And overall, the whole lineup was like a different array of people, but just like the production, it was held in massive conference center with these big, like glow in the dark octopuses, like stretching across the whole ceiling down these hallways. And it was just massive. And it was full of people, but just massive enough that people were just like in it. Like you could get all over the place until you got into the stages, and like, man, like it was just a wild party, a beautiful event. That was amazing. Yeah, that's one to remember for sure.
Sounds like that stuck with you quite a bit. I'd have to say that mine was actually in 2007, and it was a metal show. It had to do with Kill Switch Engage, Lamb of God, Devil Driver, and Soilwork. I was in like December, and we had to drive through probably one of the most gnarly snowstorms I have ever been in my life. Literally almost died 3 times getting there, like, because we were in my uncle's Jetta, and it's not meant for that. But we made it.
That's so crazy, dude, because getting to Colorado was the same for me, dude. The only thing we had to go off was the taillights of the semi ahead of us in a Honda Accord, and you're just like, no. Well, I'm glad you made it. God.
Yeah. Yeah, it was rough. We almost slid off the exit on the Saltaire Drive.
For anybody out there who hasn't driven across Wyoming to Colorado during winter from Utah, just don't do it.
Fly.
So I'm sorry.
Save yourself the stress. Fly, definitely.
Yeah. Continue. I apologize. That's just necessary.
Fortunately, you can't fly to Saltaire, so we had to drive. And yeah, we got there. It was dope. Like Lamb of God had just put out Sacrament, Devil Driver had just done Fury of Our Maker's Hand, and Kill Switch had just done, I think it was End of Heartache. It was just like the best albums of all 3 artists. Just ripped the roof off that place, and that will probably always be my favorite show because the band lineups have changed now, and it's just they don't quite make the same music they did. And
obviously, it's gonna be a while before the crowds can be like that again. Like that sounds like like those were good years for any concert. Like that whole 2007, 2008, 2009, 2000, like those were just like concerts were just that was a vibe for sure.
Yeah,
good stuff. All right, moving on. All right, so as a DJ, what was the favorite gig you've ever played?
Well, let's see. So I'd say it was probably a tie. I'm gonna say between 2. One of them was thrown here, and that would have been at Club Sound. There was a foam party that was thrown. DJ Blend was the headliner, and I got to play at 10 that night, so it was a little bit later of a slot, and everybody just went nuts. It was the best feeling till I just like drop a track, look up, 1,000 people just going nuts. Like that's what we live for sure. Like that's the vibe. And it had its technical difficulties at the first. One of the CDJs kind of had a freak out moment where it caught an emergency 4-bar loop on one of my tracks, and like I had to kind of fudge the first mix to get out of it. But I mean, nobody really noticed. I did it super fast and was able to get out of that track before it got bad, and the rest of the set was good. The second one was in Mardi Gras.
Anybody like, ooh, that's one.
Well, yeah, no, actually, so the details behind that is that Jeremy did come up. Jeremy Mordland from V2, he came up and was like, "Is everything all right? What's going on?" And kind of like, I just kind of looked at him. I was like, "This thing caught a loop. Don't worry, I'm getting out of it." And just like at that point was switching out of the track and moved over, and I was kind of worried because I was hoping that none of the other songs did that. So I kind of skipped through a couple of them really quick and just made sure that they didn't freak out, and everything was good from that point. So he was just like, all right. And on we went, and it was good after that. But I'm pretty sure he was just more concerned in case one of the CDJs just took a crap before the headliners started getting on the stage.
Oh, yeah.
Because that would not have been so hot.
No, that would not have been anybody's favorite discussion to have.
No.
I'm sure they had a backup. It would have been real quick, but yeah, it just been like more time out of here. That's cool though. What a sick experience. Like you still, that sounds like you were like, well, I'm just gonna roll with this, and then rock the hell out of it afterwards. So that's sick.
Yeah, just the things you have to learn on the fly.
Yeah, I think we still had those moments where you're just like,
yeah. All right, that was close.
Cool. All right. Everybody looks at you like he meant to do that. You're like, Sure.
Yeah. Yep.
You're right.
At least
All
it
right.
didn't like train wreck, so that was good.
For sure. All right. Yeah. For me, well, you said it was a tie. What was the other one? There was another
Yeah.
one you said.
The second one was a Mardi Gras show. It was thrown out in Colorado. Ronsky Speed, Laid Back Luke, or not Laid Back Luke, sorry, Lazy Rich. They both start with L's. And then Loud Pack was on there. It was pretty cool to just get out of state and play a bigger show. Yeah, I know, it was nuts.
No,
Like
that's a great achievement.
I think it was 1,200 people was the total ticket count. So, and it was all in one room was the main area. They had a little outside stage where the smoking stuff was at, but like it felt like they were focusing people on the main stage, which was cool. Because I feel like a lot of the smaller events, like if they're too scattered, you just spread your crowd base out and nobody gets that feeling.
Right.
But
Yeah,
that was
it's
dope.
cool. It's cool if the crowd is big enough to love the different vibes. So like the crowd is big enough, but like in smaller events, like it's cool if you can kind of just like at one point be like, all right, everybody join the dance floor now. Let's get crazy here. Yeah, for sure.
How about you?
I honestly, I would have to say definitely Crush was one of them. And Crush was a show that was held, it was a Valentine's show that was held at Club Sound. And I got to play that show with Jason No Say Sevi. And we like dressed up and if you don't know Jason, he's taller than me. So it's like these two just like and we dressed all nice, got on these ties and put on a white outfit, and we both dig into house. And he's like he is a house head. He's super into house, and so I had to like, all right, let's see how I'm gonna fit into here. And I play a little bit more of like kind of a dance floor get it vibe than Jason. He likes his deep house vibes, and when he does get like up there, so like I brought it down, but we rocked that crowd. Like how he would come out of my moods into his, and like how his music was vibing with the crowd, and just how we played off of each other. That place was rocking, and that was the most exciting feeling I've got from a crowd that I played at. Just like how many people were right there, just like you, everybody was right there in front of that stage specifically, and it was just like, God, they were screaming, vibing, like jumping, and it was just like, can't mimic that feeling. You can't. It's unbelievable. The other one I would have to say that really was special was Nocturnal Groove 3. Nocturnal Groove 3 was a show that I put on with Matt, and it was just, we had picked up momentum this year. And so Nocturnal Groove 3 had this name now where people were coming to it, and it was like some people.
That was the summertime show.
That was the summertime
stuff.
show, man. That was the big,
sure.
like, and so playing that show and those people just like vibing in the middle of the night to these dark get it breaks and electro house tracks, and it just like, man, it just, there was a feeling that came with it just sitting on that. It was incredible. Yeah, that definitely had to have done it for me. Those two.
Yeah, that show is definitely on the list. Top 3.
Yeah. All right. So, oh boy, this is an interesting question. So, Josh, how do we decide on names for our tracks?
Well, there's a few different ways. None of them are sweet science per se.
I would not recommend most of them as a health product.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's a lot of no sleep. Semi-okay vocabulary.
Mediocre mediocre at best.
Listen, okay.
The most complex words we come up with are made up. Let's go.
Yeah, that's true. No. And then our twisted sense of humor kind of gets tossed in there. And if you stir those 3 ingredients around long enough, weird stuff happens.
Yeah. No, to be completely honest, like, me and Josh have a certain, like, link. And when we talk to each other, it's most people would consider it a breakdown in communication, but for us, it is such an upgrade.
It's a breakthrough.
Yeah. It is amazing. So we just vibe with this almost like simplistic genius, I'm gonna go with.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's just like not overthinking and kind of just we'll just let things happen in the moment with words, and then eventually sometimes we get something good out of it. Like we were talking about, for instance, shameless plug, we'll say for our next EP coming out next month, Body Snatched.
Yeah,
Keep your eyes on that.
that's good.
But we were just making a spacey break, and somehow we felt like it was taking our bodies away. And eventually we landed on, it felt like we were having our bodies snatched. So,
Boom. That's it.
yeah,
It's like
it's just kind of descriptors of the song mixed with how we feel and the emotion at the time, and then word chaos.
yeah, word chaos is a great way to segue into the other way that it happens. Sometimes we're just having conversations, and what he just described happens between us, and a word pops out, and we're just like, we gotta write that down. And then after we get done with one project, we look at this word and we're like, how would we write music to describe that? And so that's always an interesting experience, trying to get to a finish line from a word.
Yeah.
So yeah, just like depends, man. It's that's a fun one. I like that. What's a dream gig for you?
For us is Firesky. That's interesting because we kind of have a diverse palette. So as a group, I mean, for me, I would like to see
What about
us.
our side trance stuff? What would you want to
Yeah.
play if we were gonna do just like our
Shambhala or Dream State. Those two, in my opinion, are just the tippy top you could get to for trance music. Maybe a State of Trance would be pretty cool too.
Yeah,
ASOP, that'd be awesome. I'd love to play on that stage.
that would be
But
great.
those three, I think, are probably for trance. That's
I have
where
to say, because of our experience. Whoa, let me just calm down a little bit over here. I'm just not putting things everywhere. Yeah. I have to say, because of our experience and like the vibe we caught at Dream State, that would be definitely a bucket list as Firesky to play on that stage. Be like, dude, this is kind of where we started. Like, this is dope. Yeah, so that would be a good one. What do you think, as far as like our more aggressive stuff, we would fit into like our breaks, our house? Like, where would you want to play if we were just like, man?
Bro, all the way Cross Festival and EDC, both of those.
Yeah,
like Cross Festival hits a personal note to me because I feel like a lot of really good music that not a lot of people know about gets played there. So if you catch an invite to play at Cross, that's just like, oh, you're doing something right, guys.
yeah, that would be epic to get that email. If I had to hit you up, or if you called me, what that, it would be like, dude, you got time to play Cross? I would probably lose my mind for a moment.
Make time.
Yeah, I'd make time for sure. Like, it's just happening. That's definitely happening. I definitely have like, so I'd like to dig into darker sides of our music sometimes and really get into this like and that's the best way I can describe it, like that kind of stuff. And I think I would love to play to these crowds that go to the underground, like dark warehouses in the UK, or go to Russia and play in these broken down buildings to these like underground crowds that are just like, we just want to hear like funky music in the pitch black with a strobe light. Like that those intimate sessions like holds as much dear moments to me as like looking over your head and seeing the lasers of the giant production above you. Like all of it has its place. And
in balance, man.
Yeah,
I completely agree. I mean, I think all of the higher up musicians, they still take those gigs. And I mean, even after some of the shows that we've been involved in here, we've had some of the headliners roll through the after parties. So
just
that's
show
always going to be
like,
a thing. Yeah.
And the people at those after parties, they freak out for that. And like that's that feeling right there is like, that's amazing too. You get to show up and you make people's night even more special than they thought it was going to be. They, like
Yeah, I remember Alvin Risk showed up to one of the ones that
That's
we were
wild.
helping throw at the end, and I was just like, whoa. Turn around and there's the headliner, and you're just like, hey, okay, yeah, get on.
That's pretty cool. Hell yeah. Well, let's see. Are there things within the music industry that have allowed you to do things that you otherwise would not have? I would say this is huge for me. This is like people, events, and life. Without the music industry, I think life would have been similar but completely different. I'd still do things like dance and I'd still do things, but without the music industry, I would not have seen the events and the lasers, the like met the people that I did, like had the just the music industry opened up a door that is endless. It truly is so vast and so big, and it is as big as your imagination can be. And I don't think my life would be the same without the music industry. I
Well, I know for a fact that me and you wouldn't even know each other.
Yeah, like that, absolutely, exactly. That just
There's no way. We
so
might have passed by each other and like, but we would have never been on the friend level that we would have been on immediately because of going to shows like
and running into
being
each other
on the scene.
constantly and just
Right.
like that.
You
And
were taking pictures, I was helping promote,
we would
and
dance off, like me and him would just like break together, just like there was it just
I mean, and that's
was music.
that bond can only be made at shows like that. Like you're not gonna walk up to some random person on the road and start like break dancing to them because like
Like what the heck is going?
yeah, no, there you're gonna get the police called on you. And that's not you couldn't do that without the music scene. I mean, I know for a fact that I wouldn't have 3/4 of the music knowledge that I have. I mean, I was playing guitar and in bands, so I would have been in the music industry one way or another, like playing, but it's an entirely different thing, this electronic industry and just kind of the close knit group that you do end up meeting. And I've almost met what I would consider my whole new family through that.
I'd have to
So
say the exact same.
yeah,
Hey,
there's no way.
it would have been different dynamics. Yeah, the people I've met have become my closest family. That's the only way to put it. Close friends, like and we're not blood related, but they're people. You're somebody I count on for almost anything, as much as other people I've met in the industry. Just like, man, it's been cool, that's for sure. All right. So
This is
who
the
are
last
you?
question.
This is the last question.
Oh man, we're winding down. Bummer.
I know.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Bit
There's gonna
fun.
be more of these.
Yeah, we'll have more videos coming up for sure. So just pay close attention to our page. We'll have things going on here soon, and hopefully more of you like what you see and can connect with us. But to answer a final question, who are you listening to right now?
Well, I mean, we kind of mentioned a few of these up at the top, but I don't think they're ever gonna go away. Just like Eddie, Io, Dead Mouse, those are a few for me.
Abraxas was somebody that came out and headlined at Dream State that me and Josh had never seen this. Nobody had. This was their debut, and we watched Abraxas, and we were just like, anything's possible. Like it was huge. So Abraxas, we're always watching for them and their new releases. Vinny Vici, uh, Asterix. Asterix is somebody that I'm always digging for new music from. Anybody else?
Test Pilot.
Oh, for
Did you say
sure.
them?
Test Pilot. Ace Ventura. Ace Ventura is another huge influence that just like comes across my feed constantly. It's just good, high quality music. That's like for anybody that's producing out there, these are the people that like to clean production, like with space and just attention to detail and like what you like the nuances of what makes it clean. And like these are who we're listening to because we feel like trying to reach this level of production. Like these guys are just great. They're good.
Yeah,
Have
I
to tip
couldn't have
our
said
hats.
that better.
Tip our hats for sure.
So, well, I'd like to say thank you guys for tuning in and taking the time to watch this. Hopefully, we
Absolutely.
didn't drag on forever.
Yeah. I hope you guys come out at some point when things get relatively normal, or if there's any time that you run into us out, like stop by and say, hey, you know, what's up? What do you guys got? Like, definitely always looking to meet new people and new contacts. Like that, we're always open. We're super friendly and weird people. So if you're weird, you will be welcome. We
Yes.
promise. All right.
Thanks,
Well,
guys.
it's been great, guys. We'll see you next time.